Hello friends, I'm Kamakshi Khandelwal. I'm a chartered accountant by profession, having more than 8 years of experience in indirect taxation. Today, I'm going to deliberate a session on place of supply. Why place of supply is important? This question is very prominent. It is therefore vital to understand why place of supply is important. Place of supply is important for two primary reasons. First, India is moving from origin-based tax to destination-based tax. For example, if I am supplying today from Delhi to Haryana, then I would be levying IGST. Delhi, being the origin state, would not get any tax. Now, which state will get the SGST component of IGST? It is Haryana. Only if it is ultimately consumed in the state of Haryana. If again the goods are supplied from Haryana to some other state, say Rajasthan, they are not consuming it, then again IGST would be applicable. Now, the SGST component of IGST would accrue to the state of Rajasthan as the supply is ultimately consumed there. So, place of supply plays a very important role. Now, coming over to the next reason. We all know as of now that for intrastate transactions, what tax is applicable? CGST and SGST. So, for within the state transactions, what tax is applicable? CGST and SGST. And what happens in the case of interstate transactions? For example, if I am supplying from Delhi to Haryana, interstate, whether supply of goods or supply of services, what tax is applicable? IGST, Integrated Goods and Service Tax. It is a central levy. It is the sum total of CGST and SGST. Hope we are all on the same page. Now, my next question is, what is UTGST? Friends, just want to tell you, UTGST is the same as SGST. It is applicable in those union territories in which there is no state legislature, like Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Daman and Diu, Chandigarh. So, if intrastate transaction is taking place in such union territories, what tax is applicable? It is CGST and UTGST. Also, if any interstate transaction takes place from such union territories to other states or to other union territories, then IGST would be applicable. Hope I am clear to all of you. Next, we have to have a thumb rule to understand what is place of supply. I had said earlier that CGST and SGST is applicable on intrastate transactions. But what is the thumb rule? What does the provision say? It says, for intrastate transactions, if the location of supplier and place of supply is in the same state, then this transaction would be classified as an intrastate transaction and CGST and SGST would be applicable. And what will happen in the case of interstate supply of goods and services? What does the provision say? The next thumb rule. It says, if the location of the supplier and the place of supply is in different state, then this transaction would be called as an interstate supply of goods or services, and IGST would be applicable. Having said that, Section 7 of the IGST Act 2017 defines what all transactions are considered as interstate and intrastate. First, I had already communicated above, location of the supplier and the place of supply is in different state. Second, import or export of goods or services. Import or export of goods or services would be considered as interstate supply of goods or services. Third, supply of goods or services to or by SEZ unit or developer would be considered as interstate supply of goods or services. Lastly, any other transaction, if it cannot be classified, then it would fall under interstate supply of goods or services. So till now we have discussed what is the thumb rule to classify a transaction as interstate or intrastate. Now let us take an example to understand why it is important to determine whether a transaction is an intrastate transaction or an interstate transaction. Let's say I am a GTA. I am in the business of transportation of goods. In GTA, if the services are supplied to an individual, then reverse charge is applicable and GTA would be liable to pay tax. Now suppose the movement of goods is taking place from Delhi to Chennai and the ability is to pay, meaning thereby that the consignee is liable to pay freight on the same. Now, what does the provision say? What is the thumb rule? It says the location of the supplier, Delhi, place of supply, where the recipient is located, Chennai. So, it will be classified as an interstate transaction and I would charge IGST. Now, when the goods reach the destination of the consignee refused to pay the amount to me and asked me to collect the same from the consignor. So what will I do now? In this scenario, I will raise a credit note to the consignee and raise a fresh invoice to the consignor. So now in my example, my recipient of service, that is the consignor, is located in the same state as mine, that is Delhi. Therefore, now the transaction will be considered as an intrastate transaction and CGST and SGST will be charged. I had duly collected and deposited the IGST with the central government and the SGST component of IGST had gone to the Tamil Nadu government. Now, the question is that Delhi department would ask me to pay CGST and SGST on this transaction. Now, question comes to my mind, can I adjust this IGST payment with my CGST and SGST liability? Answer is no. It can't be adjusted. CGST and SGST needs to be paid along with interest. Now another question comes to my mind. What will happen to the IGST that already deposited? We have to claim the refund of the tax. And we all know that claiming refund from the department is a very difficult task. So, with this mindset, we have to look at the provisions of the place of supply of goods and place of supply of services. If we do mistake in determining the transaction, whether as intrastate or interstate, what will happen? We have to pay the correct taxes and claim refund of the taxes paid earlier. And we know that claiming refund from the department is a cumbersome task. When I am saying place of supply, there are two important parameters. First, location of supplier. Second, the place of supply. Now, what could be the location of supplier? Location of supplier, the law says location of supplier of service is the place of business for which the registration has been obtained. Otherwise, any other fixed establishment or establishment most directly concerned if the service is supplied from more than one state, or the usual place of residence of the supplier. So, the provision defines the location of the supplier. Now, next is place of supply. So, let me start with the place of supply for goods. What are the provisions? First, supply in case of movement of goods. The place of supply of goods shall be the location at which the movement of goods terminates for delivery. Let us understand this provision with the help of an example. A of Delhi places an order of books on B of Delhi with an instruction to deliver the books at the location of A in UP. So my transaction involved movement of goods. In this case, the movement of goods from Delhi to UP is terminating in the state of UP. So what does the thumb rule says? Location of supplier Delhi, place of supply shall be UP because the movement is terminating in UP. So this transaction will be classified as an interstate transaction and IGST shall be levied. Next is the bill to ship to model. You can say even E2 model. Now what does the provision says? Where goods are delivered before or during their movement by the virtue of transfer of document of title to the goods or otherwise to a recipient or any other person on the direction of the third person. The place of supply of goods shall be the principal place of business of the third person. Let us understand this provision with the help of an example. Suppose I am A, I am a supplier in Delhi and you are B, you are also in Delhi, but you wanted me to deliver the goods to C who is situated in Haryana. So when I am supplying goods, I am raising invoice to you in Delhi, but by virtue of transfer of title to goods, you wanted me to transfer these goods to another person in Haryana. So there are three parties involved, A in Delhi, B in Delhi and C in Haryana. So there are two supplies involved, A to B and B to C. First we have to determine whether the supply from A to B is intrastate or interstate, and then next we have to determine whether the supply from B to C is intrastate transaction or interstate transaction. So this place of supply provision says where the goods are transferred by the way of transfer of title of documents, place of supply for the intermediary B would be his principal place of business. I will not check the place of supply where the transportation terminates or the delivery terminates. For me, A to B, place of supply would be principal place of business of B. So, in this case, the location of the supplier is in Delhi, the place of supply is in Delhi. Therefore, this transaction will be considered as an intrastate transaction and CGST and SGST would be levied. Now, for B to C. In this case, B is the supplier, location of the supplier is Delhi, but for place of supply, the thumb rule would be the location at which the movement of the goods terminates for delivery. In my example, it is Haryana. Therefore, the transaction between B to C will be considered as an intrastate transaction and IGST would be levied. Now, Coming over to the next provision, where the supply does not involve movement of goods. The place of supply of goods shall be the place at the time of delivery to the recipient. This subsection would mainly cover over-the-counter transactions. For example, I am in Delhi. I went to a Levi's showroom in Delhi to purchase a t-shirt. Now, in this case, supply is complete at the showroom itself where the t-shirt is delivered to me and the price is paid. In this case, the place of supply is Delhi and the transaction would be called as an intrastate transaction, and CGST and SGST should be levied. Coming over to the next provision, where the goods are installed or assembled at site. The place of supply of goods shall be the place of such installation or assembly. For example, A of Delhi supplied a machinery to B of Haryana, which is to be installed in UP by A. So the location of the supplier is Delhi, the location of the recipient is Haryana, but the place where such installation or assembly is taking place is UP. Therefore, the place of supply of goods shall be UP. Next, where the goods are supplied on board a conveyance such as a vessel, aircraft, a train or a motor vehicle. What shall be the place of supply? The place of supply shall be the location at which such goods are taken on board. For example, a train is bound for Delhi to Bombay. The goods are taken on board from Agra, that is UP, for final consumption by the passenger. Now, what is the place of supply in such a scenario? According to the thumb rule, the location of the supplier is in Delhi. The place of supply shall be the place where the goods are taken on board. So, in my example, the goods are taken on board from UP. So, my place of supply would be UP, and IGST shall be levied irrespective of the place where the food is actually consumed by the passenger. Now, I shall discuss the provisions for the place of supply of services. Section 12 of the IGST Act 2017 provides the rules for determining the place of supply of services. There are two rules. First is the specific rule and second is the general rule. Specific rule is for determining the place of supply of services like immovable property, event, transportation of goods, transportation of passengers, insurance, banking and financial services, advertisement. So these are the services for which specific provisions are being provided, but there is one general rule, the default rule. Services which are not falling anywhere would be classified as per the general rule. All professionals like chartered accountants would fall in this general category. In contrast to Rule 14 of the existing Place of Provision of Service Rules 2012, an order of applicability of rules is not defined in Section 12 of the IGST Act. Thus, it is not clear if any service falls in two or more categories, then which rule would apply. For example, if a spa service is provided on board an aircraft, whether the place of supply of such service would be determined as per Section 12 subsection 10, that is place of supply of service on board a conveyance, or Section 12 subsection 4, place of supply of beauty treatment service. In our view, in such cases where a service falls under two or more categories, principles like which one is more specific, which one is more beneficial to the assessee would apply. Determining the place of supply of service is difficult in comparison to the place of supply of goods, since services are intangible. Rules for determining the place of supply of service are very important to bring uniformity. The principle of destination-based consumption tax is a guiding factor for determining the place of supply of services under various circumstances. Thus, the place of supply would be in most cases fixed at the place where the services are destined for. In the following slides, we shall discuss each of the subsections of section 12. First, I would like to discuss the specific provisions. In this, the first provision is services in relation to immovable property, including ancillary services. The place of supply of service shall be the location at which the immovable property is located or intended to be located. For example, Company A have a place of business in Tamil Nadu. Company has given a works contract of immovable property to a contractor in Rajasthan. Now, what will be the place of supply of such works contract service provided by the contractor? What is the thumb rule? Location of supplier is in Rajasthan. For place of supply, the provision says location where the immovable property is located. The immovable property is located in Rajasthan. So this will be called as an intrastate transaction, and contractor would charge CGST and SGST. Assuming Company A does not have any place of business in Rajasthan, so it would not be able to take the credit of CGST and SGST levied by the contractor. Next, section 12 subsection 3. Lodging accommodation by a hotel, inn, guest house, homestay, club, campsite, or accommodation any immovable property for organizing any marriage or official or social or cultural or religious or the business function. What shall be the place of supply? Place of supply shall be the location at which the immovable property is located. So let's take up another example. If I have an office in Delhi and I want to organize an annual day function for my office colleagues. For this, I booked a hotel in Gurgaon. Now, what shall be the place of supply in such a case? The place of supply shall be the location of the immovable property, that is Haryana. The transaction would be intrastate, as the location of the supplier is in Haryana and the place of supply is Haryana, and therefore CGST and SGST shall be charged irrespective of the fact that the invoice is raised to me being a recipient registered in the state of Delhi. Now coming over to the next provision. Restaurant and catering, personal grooming, fitness, beauty treatment, health services, cosmetic and plastic surgery. What shall be the place of supply for such services? The place of supply shall be the location where the services are actually performed. For example, I went to Shehnaz Hussein's beauty parlor in Delhi for taking beauty treatment services. Then the place of supply shall be the place where the services are actually performed, that is Delhi. Shehnaz Hussain will raise an invoice on me charging CGST and SGST. Now I am giving some questions to you to answer, like what would be the place of supply in case where the home delivery of food by a restaurant, whether it would be the location of the restaurant, that is where the food is actually prepared, or it will be the location where the food is delivered. Next, whether place of supply for delivery charges would also be governed as per the said subsection. Next, if personal grooming services provided over internet such as English speaking classes, then how to determine the place of supply? You can send me your reply at my email ID. Next, section 12 subsection 5 and section 12 subsection 6. services in relation to training and performance appraisal. In case of a registered person, the place of supply shall be the location of such person, and in case of an unregistered person, location where the services are actually performed. Admission to a cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational or entertainment event or any other place. The place of supply shall be the location of the event or park or other place. For example, if I am a supplier in Delhi engaged in the service of imparting GST training to corporate houses, one of the corporate house is situated in Haryana, asked me to supply services to him. Now, corporate house being a registered person, the place of supply will be the location of such person, that is Haryana. This will be an interstate transaction and IGST shall be levied. Next is section 12 subsection 7. Services provided by the way of organization of a cultural, artistic, entertainment event, including supply of service in relation to a conference, fair, exhibition, celebration or similar events. So, place of supply of service shall be when provided to a registered person, the location of such person, and in case of other than registered person, the location where the services are actually performed. Next, section 12 subsection 8. Transportation of goods including mail or courier. What does the provision says? When provided to a registered person, the location of such person, and when provided to other than registered person, the location at which the goods are handed over for transportation. Contradictory with the current rule, as per the current rule, the place of supply of such service is the location where the goods are destined for. As per this subsection, if a person export goods out of India, the place of provision of service for transporting such goods would be in India, and thus the said service would not classify as export of service. All recipients outside India would be unregistered persons only. Likewise, if a person situated outside India sends some goods to India, the place of provision would be outside India. Next, section 12 subsection 9. Transportation, passenger transportation service. Place of supply of service shall be when provided to a registered person, the location of such person, and when provided to other than registered person, place where the passenger embarks on the conveyance for a continuous journey. Now, the question arises whether the flight with a stopover would be considered as a continuous journey or not. Next, place of supply of services, section 12 subsection 10. Services on board a conveyance such as vessel, aircraft, train or a motor vehicle. The place of supply of services shall be the location of the first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for the journey. Examples of services covered could be paid internet services on board aircraft, paid movies or spa treatments on board conveyance, etc. Now let us take up an example to understand this provision. A has received internet services on board a flight from Delhi to London. Now what shall be the place of supply? What does the provision say? The place of supply shall be the first scheduled point of departure, which is Delhi. So the place of supply shall be Delhi. Now another example. Flight from Delhi to USA has a scheduled stopover at Dubai, and A has received the spa services after the Dubai stopover. Now what shall be the place of supply in such a case? The place of supply shall be Delhi only. In my view, even in case of stopover journey, the first scheduled point of departure should be taken into consideration. In my example, the first scheduled point of departure was Delhi. Therefore, the Delhi shall be the place of supply. Next, place of supply of service for telecommunication services. telecommunication services including data transfer, broadcasting, cable, direct to home television service. Services by the way of fixed telecommunication line, leased circuit, internet lease circuit, cable or dish antenna. The place of supply shall be location where the telecommunication line, leased circuit or cable connection or dish antenna is installed. Next, mobile connection for telecommunication and internet services provided on postpaid basis. The place of supply shall be the location of billing address of the service receiver on record of the service provider. Next, mobile communication for telecommunication and internet services provided on prepayment through a voucher or any other means. Location where such prepayment is received or such vouchers are sold. If prepaid service is availed through electronic network, the location of the service recipient as per the record of the service provider shall be the place of supply of service. So this chart summarizes the whole provision relating to the telecommunication services. In case of fixed line, the place of supply is place of installation. In case of mobile connection, in postpaid mobile connection, the place of supply shall be the address on record of the customer. In case of prepaid mobile connection, there are two. First is the online voucher. The place of supply shall be the address on record of the customer, and voucher sold other than online. So the place of supply shall be the place of sale of voucher or the receipt of money. Now coming over to the next provision, banking or other financial services including stockbroking. The place of supply of services shall be the location of the service receiver on the record of the service provider. Where the service is not linked to the account of the recipient of the services, the place of supply shall be the location of the supplier of service. I hope I am clear. Now, moving over to the next, insurance services. What shall be the place of supply for insurance services? In case of registered person, the place of supply shall be the location of such person, and in case of other than registered person, the place of supply shall be the location of the service receiver available on the records of the service provider. Now let us take an example to understand this provision. LIC Office of Delhi is providing health insurance service for employees of ABC Limited registered in Haryana. So the location of supplier is Delhi, location of recipient is Haryana, the place of supply would be Haryana. This would be considered as an interstate transaction and IGST would be levied. Now another example, Tata AIG Mumbai providing life insurance service to X of Ahmedabad. So the location of the supplier is Mumbai, Maharashtra state. Location of recipient is Ahmedabad, Gujarat state. So the place of supply would be Gujarat. Now, next provision, advertisement services. Advertisement services to the central government, state government, statutory body or a local authority meant for identifiable states. The place of supply of service shall be each such state. Advertisement service has not been defined in the Act. Whether the following can be covered within the advertisement services: first, conceptualizing and designing of advertisement, broadcasting of advertisement, installation of advertisement on billboards, renting of billboards for advertisement, modeling agency providing models for advertisement, actors charging for acting in advertisement. Now let us take up an example. Central government takes an advertisement service for northeastern states from an advertising agency based in Delhi. Then what shall be the place of supply? Such service shall be classified as interstate only. Because the location of the supplier is in different state. Next is, if the agency is based in Assam, then such service shall be classified as intra-state for service attributable to Assam, one of the northeastern states, and interstate for remaining services attributable to other northeastern states. Now we have covered all the specific rules. Now coming over to the general rule. Services not covered above, like CA, the place of supply of service shall be, when provided to a registered person, the location of such person, and when provided to other than registered person, the location of the service receiver available on the records of the service provider. If the address on record does not exist, then the place of supply shall be the location of the supplier of service. Now, coming over to the place of supply provisions relating to export of service. It says where the location of the supplier or the location of the recipient is outside India. What is the general rule? In the current regime, the place of supply is location of the recipient of the service, and if the location of the recipient of the service is not available, then the location of the provider of the service. The same provision exists in the IGST Act also. There is no change. Next is section 13 subsection 3, place of supply in relation to performance based services. With respect to goods or with respect to individuals, the place of supply for performance based services shall be the place where the services are actually performed. Now, place of supply of services like immovable property related services, the place of supply shall be the location of the immovable property in the case of export transactions also. Admission to or organization of an event including conference and similar events, the place of supply shall be location where the event is held. Passenger transportation service, it shall be the point of embarkation, and the return journey shall be treated as a separate journey. Next, services provided on board a conveyance, the place of supply shall be first scheduled point of departure. Transportation of goods other than by the way of mail or courier, the place of supply shall be the destination of such goods. And place of supply of services. Hope you all enjoyed the session. Thank you.